Hey girls, hey, welcome, and gentlemen. So it's Tanya Trombley. I'm here live in the parent pickup line, and I love to come daily and to inspire you and lift you up and help you go outside the box and live God's journey. I've really been tuning in to sharing our stories, and I find that when we can share, hey beautiful girls, that it can help heal others. So I was at the doctor's office. I don't know if you saw my post earlier. And I was at the doctor's office last week. And if you haven't seen my post, go look at it. First off, hold on. Let me say thank you for joining me. And if you are watching the replay, thank you. Please put replay in the comments because I like to see who can watch later. So, and stick with us till the end if you would. So I'm at the doctor's office last week, and in the bathroom, I had seen this sign. And if you want to look on my previous post, you can see that. And I saw the sign. It said, you know, if you're in an abusive relationship, whatever, there's help, whatever, here's a number, call this number. And you know how there's all these little things you can tear off? And it's like a tear, you tear it off and you can take it with you, and it has the phone number. And so I look, and obviously at one point, the whole bottom probably was full. But the previous moment when I was looking at it, there were so many numbers missing. I was upset. I was sad to see that many people had to take that number and to call to get help. But then I was encouraged to know that they are getting help, hopefully, and encouraged that there is things out there that people can get help. So I was going to share it last week, and I don't know why I didn't. It's been heavy on my heart ever since. But sometimes it's hard on social media, obviously, when you share sensitive subjects. Especially if you are currently in this situation. You put yourself out there to be, bashed, maybe some haters, maybe some people will be upset with me or upset with anything I say. But I do believe our stories can and will help others heal. And maybe sometimes our story can be what someone needs to hear for them to get help. So I wanted to share, and I'm putting myself out there. So thank you for tuning in. And if you are going to share this live, thank you for sharing. If you know anyone this can help, please share, tag them, whatever. Put shared in the comments so I know you're sharing and I can give you some love, and I appreciate you sharing. The more we can share, the more people that are sharing stories and sharing these messages and sharing, the more people we can reach. I can't do it all by myself. It takes a village. It takes all of us to help and share and to reach other people. So I appreciate you sharing and trying to educate and trying to help others in regards to, subjects that, many of us women have endured or are enduring, and let us be the voice to hopefully help and reach out to someone. Okay, so thank you for sharing. Let's give some hearts because I'm about to blow it up. So y'all give me some love right now. Give me some hearts. Give me some encouragement. We're going to get this story started. So I'm going to share a story. If you knew me growing up, and still now, I was a strong woman. I was strong. I was independent. I always was the encourager to my friends. I always, they'd get in these bad, crappy relationships, and I'd be like, girl, you deserve better. Get out of that. You don't deserve that. I was like, if you treated me bad, peace out. I didn't tolerate crap. I was a very feisty person. Hence my childhood, what I grew up with, which that's another story, another time. But I just was always trying to encourage my friends and girls that were in these destructive, mentally abusive, verbally abusive, and physically abusive relationships to get out. Like, what are you doing? Like, I was always the one talking to them and encourage them, inspiring them, and trying to help them be strong to get out. I would have never been a victim to that. Never. Growing up, people that knew me would have never thought I'd be a victim to it. I found myself in a bad place in life. I had a mending relationship with my parents at the time, and I was just growing that back, but I was still mad at so much, just mad at a lot of things that, as a childhood that happened, mad that my college didn't work out, mad that, I was back in my hometown, I moved away and I came back, and just kind of in a bad position that, I settled. I got with a guy that gave me attention, and I was just wanting the love, I guess, and not really knowing too much about him. I mean, we all hung out as friends, so I thought I knew him, but there was a dark, ugly side I didn't know. In the relationship, we started dating, you know, things seemed okay. You know, he had friends that like hung out with drugs and stuff, but like he knew I wasn't down with that. He knew I didn't want it around me, and he never did that stuff in front of me, so I assumed he didn't do it. So I found out later, you know, obviously in life, I found out after we broke up and stuff, his friends let me know all the stuff he was doing, which hence made sense of his mood swings, because I didn't understand the mood swings and just how he would treat me and stuff. Very jealous, very controlling, and I didn't realize that he took over and was controlling me. I got to a state where I didn't leave the house really. I didn't talk to my friends. I remember, gosh, my best friend Amanda had called me, wanted me to come to Tampa to see her, and I blew her off. And I still regret that to this day, because she ended up dying in a car accident shortly after that. So I was just in a place where I wasn't very sociable. I cut off my friends, and it was really just about him, and I really didn't go anywhere. And I didn't really even realize or know that I was one of those girls, that I was, wow, one of those girls now. So verbally, you know, and mentally definitely abusive. Did not experience physical abuse until later in the relationship with him. So one night I was sleeping. He came home late. I was mad. He was home late. We started having words, and he hit me, and I hit him back, and we started fighting. If you knew me, again, growing up, I would defend myself. I was a fighter. I would be the first one to lay you out. You were not going to hit me. You were not going to attack me without me fighting back. And he probably wasn't aware of that side of me, because he hadn't seen that side of me. And so when he stupidly decided to hit me, I hit him back, and we were straight up fighting like two boys fighting. You know, so needless to say, the neighbors heard the noise, the neighbors heard the commotion, the screaming, whatever. At one point he was on top of me, hitting me. I got him off. But all of a sudden there was a knock on the door. So of course he quickly comes to sense, right? And then he answers the door. And mind you, I'm in my t-shirt and underwear because I was sleeping. And it was the cops. The neighbors had called the cops. Well, this was shortly after the O.J. Simpson situation. And they were very, very strict. And I think they probably still are to this day, because it needs to be strict, right? But I knew the cops because I grew up in this town, and they knew me. And they're like, we got a complaint from the neighbors. There's something going on domestic over here. And so they asked me what happened. I told them that he hit me and attacked me, and that, you know, that I defended myself. And so they said, did you hit him back? And I was like, well, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna defend myself. And they were like, oh honey. And they hated it because they're my friends, but they had to arrest both of us. We both got arrested. Okay. The rules changed where if you hit back, you get arrested too. They don't care if you're defending yourself. Because I was like, well, what are you supposed to do? And they're like, you're supposed to leave the situation. I'm like, if they're on top of you or something and you can't leave the situation, how do you leave the situation? I'm not going to sit and be a victim to anybody, and I'm not going to sit and not defend myself. So unfortunately, we both got arrested. So I remember being in the holding cell, and I got out quickly, thank goodness. And they released me, you know, and we didn't go in front of the judge, and we didn't have to have charges and all that stuff. That charges were dropped. The state dropped the charges. I dropped the charges against him. He didn't put no charges on me. But I will say this. Out of all of it, and I don't want to make light of it, but by gosh, I did fight back, and he had a nice shiner. I'm just going to say that. So I did give him a black eye, by God. So, but anyways, so sad that we got to that situation in our relationship. But what was so sad is I took him back. Yep. I took him back. Like, what an idiot I was. What an idiot. If any man touches you, you should not take them back. And I did. Like I said, this was, I don't know how many years ago now, 20 some years ago. I was young, but whatever. But I took him back. We weren't allowed to be around each other for the first couple months until everything was settled between us and not pressing charges and whatever. But we talked on the phone, and then he came back and he moved in, and there was never again physical abuse. There was still the verbal and the mental, but I started getting stronger. And if he mouthed off to me, boy, I would just flip a lid and I would go after him. He'd be running from me because he knew now that I was going to, defend myself, and I was not going to take his crap. And, it was just a very vital relationship. Very. Some people are just not meant to be together. It doesn't mean I'm a bad person. It doesn't mean maybe they're a bad person. Sometimes two people together are just not good people together. And he brought the worst out in me, and I brought the worst out in him. It does not excuse ever him hitting me. It does not excuse him ever attacking me and touch me the way he did. That does not ever excuse it. I forgave him, and I will forgive him, and thank God I was able to walk away from the relationship alive and strong. I started talking to my friends again. I started reaching out to my guy friends. They started lifting me up. They brought the confidence back in me, where I finally told that punk to leave. I told him to leave my house and get out and don't ever come back. And you know what? I moved on, and I didn't look back. I still see him sometimes, and you know what? I don't hate him. I don't hate him. I felt sorry for him in this situation, but you know what? He's grown to be a better man, and he's married, and he's got kids, and I pray that he is so good to them. From what I can see, he is, and maybe he just made a mistake, right? Some people make mistakes, but I just want to encourage you, because we all feel like we will never be in that situation, and you might have friends that are in that situation, you don't even know it, but look for the signs. If they're pulling away, if they're not talking to you, if they're shutting you out, if they're, not being sociable, maybe they used to be, or maybe there's marks on them or whatever, those are signs, and you need to be the person to try to help them. I don't know if people saw the signs with me and they just were naive to it, or they just were scared to approach me, or they just didn't know how because they were so shocked because they never thought that would be me, right? I mean, we never expect to be the person, the victim, right? We never expect that to be us. But either way, no one really, I don't remember anybody ever saying you need to get out of this relationship. Now, of course, when he attacked me and that happened and whatever, then they definitely were like, don't go back to that, right? But when you're still in that low place, you do. And I'm still mad to this day that I ever was in that kind of relationship, because I was the strong person. And I sit here and think about, if I'm strong and these people are out there and they're not strong, they're so easy to fall victim to it. So easy. And we need to help them and let them know that they don't have to. And there's so much more of this going on that, thank you for sharing that. We have to help somehow. I don't know how personally to put a stop to it, but if it's just sharing a story or helping someone or letting them know they have somewhere to go, there's shelters now. If it's your house, it's whatever, and just knowing that they can get help. And the more we talk about it, the more we come out, the more we share our stories, and the more people don't feel alone, the more we can help put a stop to this. Because our story can heal. So please share your stories. If you have stories, share your stories. Unfortunately, we go through ugly, and we go through deep, and we go through bad, and we don't understand why. But God uses that story of what we've been through to help others. And we need to use our story to help others. I mean, you think back 30, 40 years ago, people never talked about abuse. They never talked about mental, physical, verbal, nothing abuse. They never talked about it. But it was happening. It was happening then too, but people didn't talk about it. Now there's more awareness of it. More people are talking about it, and more people can get help from it, and we can put a stop to it. So I hope that, if you know someone, that you shared this video for them, and that this might help them. You can be the light for them. I can be the light, whatever. And I hope that us sharing our stories, that we can help more people. The more we share, the more we can help. So please share this video if you found value in it. If you want to, feel free to reach out to me and message me. When I share my stories, I love when I have people reach out to me, because I don't care if it's one person. I know that I helped one person. And so please, you know, if you need to reach out in my VIP group, I'm creating a safe community VIP group where more of us can talk and we can share stories, we can share recipes, we can share fashion, we can share whatever we want. But if we want to come in there and ask for prayer, if we want to come in there and share whatever, then that's going to be our little home to do that. And if you want to be added to that VIP group, I'll drop it in the comments, and feel free to join us. So I hope that something I said today resonated with someone that might be listening, that it can help you. You are not weak. You are not a victim. Do not be embarrassed. Do not be ashamed. Do not be any of those feelings that the devil wants to put in our head. You are more than that. And God gives us grace, and God loves us no matter what you are. And you get yourself out of that situation. You deserve better. And I hope this helps someone today. Thank you for tuning in, and I will talk to you soon. Have a great day. Peace out.